Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and today we have an interesting situation that I want you guys to look at and kind of be the judge of this because it's an interesting. Well, not really. I'm sure it's something that most of you guys have faced um, in your World of Warships career. But anyway, I'm here in the Tier 10 American battleship Montana, and I haven't really been playing the Montana a whole lot recently. I pick it up every now and then, and, I'll play it for a little bit, then I'll put it away, just because I have so many other Tier 10s now that I like more than the Montana. And don't get me wrong, the Montana is a good ship. It was actually my first Tier 10 ship that I ever got, and it's kind of faded over time. It's definitely been power creeped a lot recently. It's got the smallest guns of a researchable tier 10 battleship. The Burgoyne, it's premium, so I guess it does technically have the smallest guns at tier 10, but really it's just an up tiered, I'll say. So yeah. But those guns are probably, well, they do perform much better because I'll say Burgoyne is a very powerful ship at tier 10, and its stats say as much. But anyway, Montana's smallest of the tier 10 researchable ships guns, battleship guns, and it's literally like the oldest tier 10 in the game, it and Yami. And I could say that Montana definitely needs some work on her. The buffed heel was a much welcomed improvement this patch. And oh, by the way, again, this is the first time I've been playing. First time I've played Montana in quite some time. So you're gonna see my shots toward the beginning of the match are all over the place, and then toward the end, I kind of start reeling it in, getting that feel for that American shell ballistics. And again, right there, I didn't really understand Burbank that much. I just I didn't predict that he would turn, and that's the thing with. Yeah, keep an eye on that Minotaur, by the way, alright? So anyway, that's the thing with the American shells. They are very slow at range. Well, they're very slow, period. So, most ships, if they're watching, they have time to turn and maneuver and such, unless it's a larger ship like a battleship. But for mid to close range, actually quite nice that they are that slow, because against cruisers, you get way more pins than you would on other ships, because those shells, they travel so slow, they don't have as much velocity, as much momentum, so they don't overpin as much. So it's kind of a nice trade-off. But in modern World of Warships, in the current meta, it's, engagement ranges are so much further away for so much longer that it kind of bites you more than helps you nowadays, in most matches that I've seen recently anyway. And the Montana, really, I think they need to give her a 2-second reload buff, and that could have been such a much better hit on the small lens skin. Naturally, I overpin it and get a bounce on it at range as it was angled. Go figure. But anyway, yeah, I think a 2-second reload buff would help her out. Give her a 28-second reload base, and the ship, cosmetically, also needs a facelift. Just take a look at the Monty model next time you're in port. It's old. It's real old. It looked good back in 2014, but it don't look that great anymore. And I know this because I play the Iowa so much, and I'm looking at the Iowa, and which is a ship that came out last year. Not last year. Well, technically last year now. And it's still, it's just the Iowa, the Monty hull with different turrets on it. Everything else looks exactly the same, and it looks not that great. So Monty needs a little buff and a facelift. And I'd say it really does need this buff, because that freaking Yashima's coming out with 20-inch guns, and good god, if that thing can exist, we can give Monty a little buff. But anyway, gearing getting spotted, and I like how my dispersion was just so that he fit in a perfect little shell of my a perfect little gap in my shell pattern. Wow, I can't talk today, y'all. I really can't. So we're over here at C, and as you can tell from the mini map, most of the team went to A, and a decent bit of our team went to C, but there's not a whole lot of ships, enemy ships here to shoot at. You got Yami out there who's, 20 kilometers. Yami versus Monty. Yami's going to be outgunning me there, so I'm going for the Kerr first. Naturally, Kerr first is a damage pinata from longer ranges. I do get a pin, which is actually a no damage pin, and then a bounce off of his armor. And Smolensk, 19 kilometers away. I could aim at him, but I probably would miss because, again, from so far away, if he's even watching me, he's going to have plenty of time to maneuver. And you see, I think about him for a second. I look at my other options. Oh, look, there's an enemy Minotaur who, I'm trying to snake my shells over this island, watching him. Now I'm thinking, okay, look, he's may beach himself hill, waiting for him to beach or turn. And then he turns in a little bit more. Oop, there goes our Kremlin. And then he turns out again. I'm like, alright, so he's turning out, and I'm trying to see, where's he going to go? How hard is he going to turn? Take my chance and let the shells fly. And, ooh, it's looking good. Looking very good. And, just a little bit too high, a little bit lower. That would have been a much bigger hit. But I still managed to take 5,000 health off of him. And then he starts to super heal. Okay, I'm watching him again because, Minotaur, you can pin him from pretty much any angle. And our team has easily taken C, and I'm like, okay, I could go engage that Yami. There's a Hindenburg around me, but there was also an enemy destroyer, so I'm kind of mulling over what I want to do. So I assumed that he was going to either speed up or turn out to avoid those torpedoes, but then he turned in, so that throws off my aiming there, and again, I aim too high anyway. So now I'm like, okay, I'm going to go into B because there's like nothing to shoot over here. There's a Yami, and as you see, I'm going to start to turn my turrets toward him. But again, from about 15 kilometers out, Monty's shells aren't that great against Yami, especially given her armor. Now, if it's a broadside Yami like that, they can do a good amount of damage. They won't citadel him, but they still will pack quite a punch. But as you can see, he starts to turn in more and more and more, and manages to avoid my shells once again. And that is the hard thing with the American battleships from going to, playing like the Kremlin and the Kerr first and all these other battleships with high velocity guns and going back to the Montana. It's, you gotta, it takes a couple of games to get back into the swing of having to lead so much, having to be able to predict where that ship's going to be in, a greater amount of time than you would with like the Kremlin and the Kerr first and the Jean Bar and all that. And again, that's what you're seeing here is me trying to get reacquainted with the battleship, guns. My God, I really can't talk. With the Monty's guns there, I'll leave it at that. Okay, again, broadside Yami. I'm like, okay, where's she gonna be at? It's a pretty slow ship. And let's see what this does. Looking pretty good. Then he turns in, and sadly, most of those hit his turret. Got one non-pin and only one pin. So I'm saying like 12,000 damage like halfway through the game. Not a very good game for me at all. So far at least. But that's also kind of the way tier 10 goes now, is that if you're just not on the side where there's a lot of the enemy team, you're just not going to do a lot of damage. Because this happens so... This happens so much now that, you'll go one way and the majority of your team will go there. And there's only like 4 enemy ships and your team just nukes them so fast that you really don't have a chance to do much damage. That's pretty much happened to me here at sea. Alright, so broadside Monty, and I get the aim right here, but I didn't lead him enough, so if I would led a little bit further forward, that would have been a fantastic shot. But I still managed to get pretty decent damage off of that shot. Okay, now Yami's kind of closing into the... that was very close to being very bad. He's closing and closer to the sweet zone for the Montana. He's getting within that 13-kilometer range now. So I was thinking, okay, if I turn around, close distance between me and this Yami, then, I'll obviously start doing a lot more damage to him. And, but unfortunately, there's 3 bounces. There, Monty gets back at me. And I'm turning to get my bow angled toward the Yami now. Because he's still coming in pretty hot. I'm like, okay, cool. He's closing that gap. And if I can just close the gap even faster, then, I'll start doing some really decent damage to him. So I managed to get all 12 guns out on him again. And booyah, there you go, 11,000 damage. Go figure. But unfortunately, he gets down to 75 health. I just couldn't do that little bit more damage to him to finish him off, and such is Warships. Alright, so now there's a Montana here. 17 kilometers away. Now, Monty Bush's Monty, if you know how to aim, you'll get just huge swaths of damage off of each other all day. And it's also in Smolensk up there in the A cap. GK's 20 kilometers away. And aiming at the Smolensk, hoping that, you know, well, he turned. And plus I didn't lead him far enough anyway. So that probably would have been a pretty good salvo there if I'd actually aimed right. Because the dispersion was actually pretty nice. Set my AA sector to deal with those midway planes. And the Henry takes care of the Smolensk, thankfully. So Monty does have pretty decent AA, as you're seeing now. You know, I've shot down 4 planes already. And hello, Minotaur again. It's that same Minotaur from earlier that almost ran to me at the start of the match. He's now T-boned me in the B cap. And this is the guy I really want you to watch now. Okay, so he's ran straight into me twice already. Starts to smoke up. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Not gonna help me out any. I'm sure he's just doing it just so he can get his little smoke chain gun going. So he's still running into me. By the way, I'm going away from him. I'm deciding I'm going to push into A, because I'd like to get some damage in before the game ends. Fortunately, my shells didn't connect there with the Montana. There's the midway 21 kilometers out there. I'm launching my... Ooh, there goes our Henry. I'm launching my fighter now because of the midway planes. And here comes this Minotaur again. So he's still right up on me. He's hit me again. Alright, so he's turned off of me that time. And the enemy Montana is obviously targeting him because he's a Minotaur and he's easy to hit. So I'm getting my rear guns on target, trying to get rid of this Montana, and he runs into me again! Go figure. So I start turning off of him so I'm not pushing him around anymore. And we're like, you know, right up against each other now. And then, whoops! There goes the Minotaur. And naturally, he blames me. And I actually just said it on that Monty. So I'm like, what? What? And I can kind of understand where he's coming from because, ooh, get another nice hit there on their Monty. And of course, he does have my broadside quite well in his sights, and luckily that wasn't that bad for me. So he's blaming me for turning him broadside, and I'm like, what are you talking about? You're a cruiser. You can literally dance around a Montana. And as you guys saw, he ran into me 3 times before that incident. And I mean, sure, I did kind of turn into him there. But, I mean, when you're following a battleship that close, what do you expect them to do? We're a floating island of metal. We aren't that maneuverable. Like, the Eye was pretty maneuverable, and, like, the Bismarck's pretty maneuverable. That's it. And, I'm telling him, dude, you're like 100 times more maneuverable than me. No, sir, Minnow is not. And actually, I just slammed the periods, because it is. It may not be the most maneuverable cruiser, but it's more maneuverable than a Montana. You know, period. Anyway, he keeps going on in chat, and I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. At this point, I'm just trying to get, you know, some decent damage in before the game ends. And yeah, I doubt it. What do you doubt? The Montana. Minotaur can turn faster than this. I don't have to look at the stats. I know it can. I've seen it. I've played with friends who have it. I've played up to the Edinburgh and the British cruiser line, unless they like poured concrete into the Minotaur steering gears, which I know they haven't. It's not slower than Montana. And he says, plus a heads up would have been nice. Dude! You ran into me 3 times. And you stayed on me for like 20 seconds before that, and this, I was ahead of you, and you decided to speed up and run into me. I can guarantee you, I did not touch my acceleration. And then his last little line he gets out before the game is, "Don't be doucher." Like, what the heck? So, okay, I didn't do great in this game. 95,000 damage. Not a lot of damage for Montana. So, team scores, okay, I'm, what, 5th on the team? Our Hindenburg driver is down there at 9th. No, he's down there at 10th, actually. So, do you guys, what do you guys think? This is the main purpose of this video. Do you think I ran into him intentionally? Do you think it was my fault for running into him? Or do you think he should be more aware of his surroundings? And that's another interesting thing to bring up. You know, when these events happen, when we run into each other. I know when players don't run into each other, it's really not that big of a deal. But when you run to someone and you do cause their demise, who should be responsible, the bigger ship or the smaller ship? In real-time maritime law, from what I've seen at least in documentaries and stuff, because I did watch the History Channel quite a lot. I don't know, like when I was young and watching History Channel, it was always about like disasters and World War II, and now it's just like aliens and like hunting for gold that doesn't exist. But in most cases, the smaller ship is at fault because the bigger ship, it takes much longer for them to stop and turn because there's, they're a much larger vessel. So, Mr. Minotaur, I hate to tell you, but and according to maritime law, you would have been at fault. I mean, again, I'm just being silly. I don't really care. It's just, I just find it funny that this guy thinks that Minotaur has worse maneuvering than a Montana. But let me know what you guys think about this. Was I at fault? Was he at fault? Were we both at fault? Probably really was both of us at fault because I was kind of tunnel visioning onto that Montana. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Just a funny moment that I want to share with you guys. Again, not really a great game. Me trying to get readjusted to the Montana. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. We are now under 400 subs away from 8,000 subscribers. And I cannot thank you guys enough for that. You guys have been awesome with that. And again, thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great Thursday. I hope to catch all of you guys in the next one.